Said I'm running to your mama, say I'm running as best I can. I'm coming to your mama, gonna be your do-right man. Say I'm running to your mama, say I'm running as best I can. I'm coming to you, baby, gonna be your do-right man.
Yeah, baby, 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 you're getting to my nerves.
I'm Mark Ross, America's most famous unknown folk singer. I play about a dozen different instruments. Guitar was my first. Actually, the first was the accordion, but God help me, I got cured of that. Penicillin, I think, helped. I play a fairly broad spectrum of what could be called roots music. Some of it's considered folk music by the ethnoproctologists. I guess you could say I play folk music. Big Bill Brunsey was once asked if a song he sang was a folk song, and he said, "I never heard a horse sing it." You know. One evening as the sun went down and the jungle fires were burning, down the tracks came a hobo hiking, and he said, "Boys, I'm not turning. I'm going to a land that's far away, down by the crystal fountain. Won't you come with me? We'll go and see the big rock candy mountain. In the big rock candy mountain, there's a land that's fair and bright, and the handouts grow on bushes, and you sleep out every night. And the boxcars are all empty, and the sun shines every day on the birds and the bees and the cigarette trees and the lemonade springs where the bluebirds sing in the big rock candy mountain." That song was written in the 1890s by a guy named Harry Kirby McClintock, the same guy who wrote Hallelujah, I'm a Bum. Except the version he originally wrote, he wouldn't sing it for recording purposes because it's absolutely filthy. It was a warning to young punk hobos to stay away from the old jockers who would take them off and seduce them. You know, at the end, the last verse in the is to be fucked in the ass in the big rock candy mountain. You know, in fact, when John Greenway in his American Folk Songs of Protest printed the song, he left off that. That's all. It was just all asterisks. That whole last verse. And when that was recorded in the 50s, you know, he refused to sing that version. But it entered tradition, you know, and for a long time nobody knew who'd written it. And then there's a kid's version, you know, the Lemonade Springs where the bluebirds sing, you know, that Burl Ives made famous. No axes, spades, or picks, You know I'm bound to stay where to sleep all day, and that hung the jerk who invented work in the big rock-head mountain. You know I'm bound to go where there ain't no snow, the rain don't fall, and the wind don't blow, and I'll see you all this coming fall in the big rock-head mountain. I try to maintain the tradition, and the changes I make, I guess we can say, are not too far out of the tradition. You know, it's not like I'm putting hip-hop beats, to old ballads. Well, I would like to play them exactly the way I learned it. First heard them, but that's impossible. I can approximate, what I heard, but I'm a different person. It's like there's a little fault in the tape recorder, in the digital recorder. It doesn't come out exactly sounding the way I learned it. If I didn't find the songs relevant to my own life, I wouldn't sing them. My old friend Dave Van Ronk used to say, I can tell a lie, but I can't sing one.
I'm James Mills. I go by the stage name Young James, and I'm living in Eugene, Oregon, and I have been for about 3 years. And I grew up outside of Corvallis, Oregon, and I've been playing music my whole life. I started out on things like guitar and bass, and my father is a 12-string guitarist. And if I had to describe my style, I think it is very traditionally based. My fiddling, a lot of people will call it round peak style, from the northeastern section of North Carolina near Raleigh, up through the Blue Ridge Mountains, and a lot of those style of old-time tunes are played with a fretless banjo. And since I've been on the fiddle and the banjo, I've been playing them about 6.5 years, and I've done old-time and bluegrass styles. I've done a little bit of Celtic and Cajun. I've been branching into ragtime and some swanky stuff, and I just have fun with it. I love to play with my friends. I had a fiddle mentor, and his name was Truman Price, and he grew up in a town called Valsetz, Oregon, and it used to be a logging town. And when he was about 11 years old or so, his dad told him, we got to pack up and move away. There's no more work here. Like, we cut down all the trees, and you got to go to school. When you drive through Valsetz now, all you see is a bunch of blackberry brambles and foundations of where houses used to be. This is kind of a tune about his childhood and moving away with his father, and it's called the Valsetz Logger's Lament. And he based it off of the Ellen Don't Stop Here Anymore by Gene Ritchie, because what happened with coal mining in the East happened with the logging here in Oregon. So. Civil War sawmill tune, and it's called The Fall of Richmond. I would call myself a folk musician because what I do is I play with my folks, you know. My dad showed me around on the guitar when I was little. Most of the playing I do with friends. I don't know if I could jump in a band of people that was not my friend if it was just for the purpose of making money, or if you're not going for the greedy viewpoint of trying to make money in gigs and get your music out there and make you money, that you're a folk musician. A lot of people will put boundaries on it where it's folk music if it's acoustic. It's like, well, I've heard a lot of acoustic music that I might not personally consider folk, but I think to define it, it means that it has to be passed down from one person to another. So just a friend teaching another friend a tune, that's folk music. It doesn't have to be old. There's a lot of folk musicians that'll get up and play a murder ballad or a song about famine or the Dust Bowl, or maybe it was about a time of war, or perhaps a time of hardship in their lives. And I feel like the folk musicians that play these old tunes will seek them out and chase them because they can identify with them in the ways of the world today. And it's funny, I feel like I pick old tunes not just because of my family heritage and Truman's heritage and the history of the families of my teachers, but also because history is bound to repeat itself, and you can pick out an old tune that somebody felt that way hundreds of years ago, and you feel that way today, and you can connect with it. Most people were illiterate at the time those songs were passed down, so that's how people got the news. You'd sing a minstrel song or a ballad, and that would tell you of a tale that happened on the other side of the country or the world. And nobody would be able to hear that news if it wasn't for the song that traveled all that way to reach their ears because they didn't know how to read or write. So. This is an Oregon Trail tune, and it's called Snake River Reel, and it's about when folks were crossing over into into what is Oregon now. They were still in the Oregon Territory when it was the Idaho Panhandle, but this Snake River is near the eastern border of Oregon. There's different lyrics of different songs, and when people are like sticking to traditions. You got to stick to traditions. Well, you go look up at Sally Ann or Sail Away Ladies, are practically the same song, and there's like 12 different versions of the lyrics. Well, which one are you going to pick and stick to, you know? So I feel like there should be a certain amount of creative freedom in every musician that feels like they're chasing tunes and trying to find out old songs. I think it's nice to see a musician stand up in nice clothes, and you know, maybe they did just get off a dusty boxcar, but you know, if you can find a nice washboard to get your shirt clean in or something, it's nice to see a musician stand up and care about the presentation of the music more than just the sound. Some people dress to fit the style, some people just want to put on something nice. I put on what I have. I feel like you could probably still dress in like a purple onesie and play some really good old-time music, but it's just nice to, in general, see the musician care about the presentation visually as well as the music.
Well, making it through is what I got, making it through with you inside, and I've got my sweet baby doll. Well, no, here we'll go, and my baby doll, Papa Bill, when I got my baby, I got it all. I'm Banjo, Banjo Youngblood. Youngblood is my given name. My father was a Youngblood, and his father was a Youngblood. The way I got my name Banjo is after I started hopping freight trains about 6 years ago. There was a gentleman named Train. He gave me the name Banjo, and it kind of stuck ever since. I'm from Houston, Texas. I play a range of blues, bluegrass, folk, ragtime. Since I was 13, I started listening to punk rock and hardcore and going to a lot of those shows. When I was 18, I was going to college, getting financial aid, and had a sweetheart, and we owned our own venue we called Dead Baby Distributions. And at the time, I was learning how to play the ukulele from my brother, who was living with us, and my sweetheart wanted to play the banjo, and that was a good source of making fun of her. You know, who plays a banjo? So while she was longing for a banjo, and I was out with my brother checking out instruments at a pawn shop that he was looking for a new ukulele. I was picking up the bass and picking up guitars and the banjolele and mandolins, and finally I got around to the banjo. And as I stated, it only took for me to really realize that the banjo was for me. Actually, started out like any other dirty train hopping kid, wearing Carhartt overalls with patches all over them, and just being dirty and greasy and as dirty as I could possibly make it. And after a while, I started thinking to myself, how cool would it be to be caught on a train? Because that's something we have to deal with, the law catching us in the act of doing what comes naturally, moving on. And how cool would it be to be caught on a train in a tuxedo? Hail, 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 the cannonball here at the Alabama.
I choose to wear my garb kind of as if I'm playing the role of a folk hero. I'm going out into the world, and I'm gonna be a Paul Bunyan. I'm going to make some impact, and be a superhero, if you will. And one of the ways I'm gonna do so is play my music, and you can see it written on my clothes. I'm gonna play some music and raise the morale. I gotta get into character. This is a song called Death Letter by a man named Sumhouse. This song's been covered by a few musicians that I really appreciate and know personally. And then most people would know this song from the White Stripes, Jack White. Most of the songs that I cover, if I got it written down or something, it's as done by Banjo, because I have to put my own spin on it. A lot of the songs are a little too slow for me. I have a hard time playing slow. I'm just starting to learn how to play a little bit slower. But if when I'm covering other songs, there's emphasis on it that I like to put that I may have heard from a different cover of that song, or but all in all, I do my best to make it my own song, or I'll even put different words to it, or however it comes to me. Say now, hurry, hurry, 'cause the gal you love is dead. When I write songs, I use some different methods. I usually choose a style of music that I may have heard through one source or another that I really like, and I'll look up a song within that genre and learn it, or maybe a couple songs within that genre and learn it until I feel like I've got the style down, and then I'll write my own song in that style. You'll see I'm a hobo, and I ride for free. I said I'm sitting here just a packing my pack. Don't put on too much weight, and it's mostly on my back end. I got my bedrolls pulled real tight. I'll be in the next city by morning light, and if you think I care, you'll see I'm a hobo, and I ride for free. I've always considered myself, since playing music, a folk musician, and I consider some of the music that I play specifically of the folk genre. But now thinking about it, what makes a folk musician, and I think about Elizabeth Cotten, and she was folk, and I think about Bob Dylan, and he was folk, and You know, these were some down-ass characters. They were real folk. You know, and they were going out and they were experiencing things and they were putting it in their music. And I'm thinking that part of being a folk musician or playing folk music means you got to be real folk.
No, do I have boogers in my nose?
We're Biscuits and Gravy Costume Party.
This next song is called Her Neck.